Hello, everybody. How you doing? Excuse me. Just turn the tally down. Just check all my settings because there we go. I'm live. Just realised my hair's a mess. Oh. So there's 3 of you in the room. Who's in the room? You can hear any noise. It's my kids playing Fortnite. So hello, whoever's there. 2 people waiting. I saw that earlier. I thought I'd started now, just to make sure the stream was working. And I seem to have figured out how to do scheduled and actually go live on that schedule rather than restarting a new one. So fingers crossed. So feel free to talk amongst yourselves while we wait for a bit and get this party started. Howdy ho. How you doing, mate? Still can't remember your name. Who else is here then? That's my daughter. So, I've got a couple of minutes yet. Do I scheduled start? So what's everyone know? Okay. What does everybody know? 4 of you now in the room. Hello to all 4 of you. I don't have beer this week. I have Perry, or as you heathens call it, pear cider. But that really annoys me. That's a different story. Howdy ho. How you doing? Hey. Yes, we have people. We have people. 5 now. Hopefully, Erica from Erica's Little Welsh Garden is going to pop over. So fingers crossed, that'll be good. Yeah, I just thought I'd do a random one. There's not been a lot going on this week, so I thought, why not? Why not go live for a bit? Because I'm probably not going to have 2 videos over the weekend, because I normally do like a Friday, Saturday one, and then a Sunday, Monday one. But it would be really dull if I did 2, because it would literally just show me going down the allotment and feeding the chickens, and that's it really, and watering stuff. Nothing too excited around my plot at the moment. Everything's growing, everything's doing well, but that's about it. Anybody else in the room? 5 of you. Thank you for the 3 people who have given me a thumbs up. That's ace. Thumbs up, plaster. It's nothing serious. What else was I going to talk about today? I was going to mention a little bit more about the allotment wars as well, which is taking it. It's something good. Excuse me. What else? And then we'll get started. Oh yeah, it's going to talk about the weather as well, because it was been a bit of a strange one today. So, Evil Spartacus, how are you? I don't think I've seen you in one of my lives before. I always see you pop around most places. How's things? How is everybody in the chat, by the way? Have you all had a really good week? And how's the growing and fishing and metal detecting and everything else that you guys might do? Anyone who's watching who's not a grower? If I were a plant, what would it be and why? I don't know. What could I be and why? I'd like to say something like an oak tree because they're incredibly old. And I imagine they get to see a lot. Because there's an oak tree near us at Atticum Park, which they believe goes back to the 1300s. And my history of kings is good, but not that good. And I think that's someone like Henry III. So you imagine that tree, that sapling grew, in early medieval times, and it's still, growing now. So yeah, big old oak tree or a yew tree, something that grows really old, because I like history, and so to cover that amount of time would be quite cool. Really rambled then, didn't I? So who else is here? Who else? A triffid. Do you know, I can't even remember what a triffid is. But I'm not big on my non-edible plants, to be honest. I don't really grow a lot of flowers, and the ones I grow are all the basics, your dahlias, your sunflowers, your pansies, fuchsias, that kind of stuff. Ah, cheers. Maybe I'm feeling philosophical today. But yeah, because you could say something like plankton or a mushroom. That's what I was thinking of to start with. But then I thought, to quote Freddie Mercury, who wants to live forever? Would you really want to be immortalized as a fungus, forever sporing and regenerating? I don't know. You would. I don't think you would. Anyone who's just come in now, we did have 7. It's now down to 5. It's obviously we've scared the shit out of 2 people talking about everlasting funguses and the history of oak trees. What else was I talking about? You completely thrown me now with what plant would you be? What plant would everyone else be? So you've had a triffid so far. Maybe we should ask everyone. That might be a really cool idea for someone to take that up and ask everyone that question. It'd be quite cool. Right, we're at 20:33, so I should start really. Just let me have a sip of this and then we'll get away. It's quite nice, that is. Oh, okay. A peach colours rose. That's quite cool. You reached 200 subs. That's ace. That's really good, that is. No, it's that first 100. It's nice to hit that. And then you kind of, when you go up in hundreds, then it's, everyone's everyone. To what I think is quite special anyway. I imagine once you get to like 1,000, you're looking at the thousands, but yeah. Maybe a year away before I hit 1,000, I think. Yes, actually, mate. Saying about getting warm. It's a good place to start actually, because I was going to talk about the weather. What has everyone's weather been like this week? Because here in Shropshire, it's been rubbish. It's just been wet and then windy and pants, basically. We even had hail today, and it was leaving a thick crust of ice on the ground. So it's crazy. Yesterday, I was editing it yesterday, but last week I shot a video basically saying how our 7th of May in Shropshire is like last frost day, and we should be great now for getting everything out, this, that, and the other. And don't get me wrong, I don't think we're going to have a frost tonight. It is quite cool out there, but it's not frost cool. But to have a crust of ice on the ground from all the hail, that's crazy. Absolutely crazy. I mean, I've seen snow in May before, but that was a freak kind of thing. But now to have the hail we had and thunderstorms today, it's unreal. And the amount of water down the allotment is crazy. It's just rocketed up. My rhubarb is now underwater. And anyone saw the little rhubarb that was growing that I thought I'd killed and it sprung back to life? I looked at it today, it was a good inch under water. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. To catch up with the chat. Wet, yeah. Excuse me. Rain for 40 days on 40 nights too. Is that something to do with St. Swithin's Day? Is it St. Swithin's Day? Isn't that the thing that the Americans stopped groundhog to? Groundhog? Groundhog? Warthog? Groundhog, yeah. Yeah, I had to. Got my fishing coat out today and wore that down to the allotment to feed the chickens because it was so wet. Absolutely chucking it down. Normally I just risk it in a hoodie and just brave it, but it was proper torrential to the point where your wipers are on full driving down there. Yeah, ridiculous. Yeah, it's true. Give it 2 weeks and we will be moaning it's drought. So there's 8 people here. Hello to you lovely 8 people. And thank you to the people who have hit that thumb. I appreciate it. Maybe help YouTube, over said Facebook, maybe help YouTube realise that I'm not a bad little channel and they can just push me up a bit and, you know. Yeah, it's from the bottom. I'm sure it's like St. Swithin's Day. If it rains on a Sunday and then it was 40 days or something, I don't know. Noah's Ark. Yeah. I always find Noah's Ark story a bit skeptical. I mean, you got to think that a kangaroo swam all the way from Australia to the Middle East to get on the Ark. So, yeah. Right, yeah, so the weather was rubbish. What else was I going to talk about? I will give you a quick rundown, actually, of what's going on the allotment. The everything's growing really well. I've got marigolds, dahlias, wildflowers, calendula, asters, zinnias. I said marigolds, and I got loads of stuff like that starting to really come on now, so I can get those in the garden in the next week or two to fill out all the flower beds and get them. Basically, I want to get my flower beds so they just self-seed. So basically, I can plant a load of either natives and non-natives and easy growing plants, a bit like a cottage garden, that they will just every end of summer they will pop with seeds, cast them everywhere, and then I get multiples. And so basically it comes to a point where my borders are so big and bulky, I can just grab handfuls of flour and rip them out to, you know, to thin it and this and the other, and no weeds will grow. That's the plan. And so I've got all these seeds in that I've started, even the wildflower seeds I've started in modules, give them so they're like a good size, and then I'm going to dot them all around everywhere, and then they'll self-seed and they'll take care of themselves. The sweet corn's up, the cucumbers are up, my Atlantic giant pumpkins, and all my other pumpkins that I grew in the videos that are now like 3-year-old seeds or something stupid like that. They're all up. Well, most of them are up anyway, and they're growing well. Swiss chard is up, lettuces are up and a good size. What else is there? Tomatoes are romping away now. So yeah, everything's like that. Potatoes are like almost completely earthed up now. Excuse me. They are to the point where all the salad variety potatoes are earthed up and they're really good. And then the Yukon Gold, which was the main crop in the big white drums, they're sorry, reading the comments. They are well on their way to halfway being earthed up now, because the whole point of that was to keep earthing them up and to get as many potatoes as possible. Kale is growing well, and everything like that is growing well. And I had my first radishes of the year today. Got them out of the ground, and they were really nice. They were French breakfast, So yeah, all good. What else? 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 Oh yeah, we're having the fence repaired. I think I mentioned to you that last week. So I've got a load of plants to go in the rockery at the back of the garden as well. But I know that the workmen are going to have to tread on the rockery in order to fix fix the fence. So I'm going to not plant the rockery bit up till they've done the fence, basically, and then I can, repair what I've got to repair and replace any plants that get broken. Um, I can't expect. There's nothing there that's precious, but I might lose, some bluebells and other things like that, because obviously the workmen might tread on them. And I can't blame them for that. The fence needs repairing. The rockery is in the way. I'm not moving in rockery, so they can just stand on it. So that's about it. Oh yeah, almost finished off putting the glass in my second greenhouse as well. I've got one more trip. Yes, one more trip to make in the car, and then I have my number 2 greenhouse. Means I can get all my tomatoes in then. Not worry too much about space in the other greenhouse, and then that tees me up for autumn winter to sow for longer, because I can grow potatoes in the greenhouse over autumn. Bouquet day. Yeah, I don't really do bouquets. Sorry, my next bit's up. I don't really do bouquets because my other half is massively hay fever, so sneezes. So I've never had to buy flowers. It's ace. It's brilliant. Did I get sent any? No, I didn't. Unfortunately, yeah, no. We'll talk about that in a minute. No, I don't really do this, but it's really nice. It's really sweet, but it's really nice. It's like pop more than alcoholic beverage. Really sweet. Excuse me. So who else is in the room? I've seen a few of you, but I don't think I've said hello to 7 people. Maybe I have. So what has everyone else done this week? Drop your comments in, and we'll talk about you for a bit. I know there's only 7 of you here, but anybody that hasn't watched anyone here's videos and stuff, then check each other out, because we all do a similar sort of thing, and there's bound to be ideas you'll get from other people. It's just the way it is. That's the whole purpose of YouTube, and our little gardening community on YouTube is awesome. Right, so where are we? Should we go on to allotment wars then? Because I don't think we're going to get any more people than 7 tonight, by the looks of it, unless there's a surge. But I don't think there will be. Panting out, getting wet, potting on, getting wet. Yeah, that sounds about right. I don't want to do too much potting on this year, so I'm hanging on to try and get, because I sowed everything a little bit later. I'm hoping I can get away with direct sowing, and I've got enough kale and stuff like that I'm quite happy to direct sow that big, because I'll do one for me and one for the slug, and I think I'll be fine. I must have like 100 kale plants, so if Mr. Slug eats even 70 of them, I will have more than enough. Not that I want to plant out 100 plants, but I'm just saying, that's the plan. Anyway, plant loads out, lose a few, and the rest will grow. I don't want to pot on because I'm trying to keep my compost budget down, because I've spent a lot this year. And I always find when I pot on, I always use loads of compost. And I know it's not wasted as such, because obviously once you take your plants out, you put it into your soil and this, that, and the other. So I know QED, you're not actually wasting it. I don't want the expense of having to go out and buy another 4 bags of compost if I can get away with it this year. It's basically, no, it's not a lot, but it's 20 quid that I'd rather spend on something else. I was going to say something else to you guys then, and I can't remember what I was going to say. Excuse me. I don't think. Oh, she's not. Erica. Erica's little Walsh garden isn't live tonight. I spoke to her on WhatsApp a minute ago because I asked. Basically said, "Are you live?" Because I didn't want to jump in her space. So what I did, because there's no point two of us fighting at each other trying to get lives, because I know some of you people watch both. So yeah, I'm hoping she drops in just to say hello. You had me at cookies. No idea. Clearly missed something. Okay, so a lot might as well go into the allotment wars. So what happened the other week? I don't know if anyone of you saw it. Who baked cookies? Rachel baked cookies. Why do I not get cookies? I want cookies now. Really want cookies. Someone should send me an Uber Eats. I'd hold my address up and you can order me one for my area. Joking. Yeah, allotment wars. There's 8 people here now. Hello, whoever's just popped in. So this last week, as you've probably seen from the video, it all kicked off down my allotments, and there's no need to go into it too much for those people that. Hi Dojo, how you doing? You should have some seeds from me by now. I meant to ask you last week, and I completely forgot. Yeah, so it all kicked off last week down the and so I've sent my emails off to the council and my secret recording, which is on YouTube, but it's not. No one can see it because it's a linked one. Because I didn't want to, start that. So I'm not going to post the video. I decided not to post the video. So it all kicked off. Turns out that somebody else has gone to the council and they've complained too, and not about me. So I have somebody in my corner. So it's no longer me against them. And this person actually had mentioned that they'd witnessed, and this person I don't really speak to a fat lot. We're not really good friends because I've got a couple. I've got a really good friend down there on my allotment, but this person's not just an acquaintance. And they basically took my side. So I want to scream victory, but hopefully this person now gets the message that you can't be saying what she's saying to people, and you can't be enforcing your made up rules on people down the allotment because just because you don't like something, how I go at people, it's bizarre. But hopefully that is the end of it. First time ever that I've managed to obviously get a witness, supporter, somebody else. So the guy at the council can't really say, well, it's your word against hers, or it's tit for tat and this and the other, because somebody else now has basically said it's been going on and they've had enough of it. I hope so, mate. I really do hope so. It's like everything. Everyone can have a mean streak, but I try and be as nice as possible to as many people as possible. As many people as possible. And no matter what I try, I just can't get through to this person. Tried everything. Tried being nice. I've tried, doing favors for them. I've tried loads of stuff, but it always seems to go nowhere with them. I mean, this is the sort of person, don't get me wrong, I'm no angel. I, quite happily, defend myself and swear at someone on this, that, and the other, blah, blah. I'm not but I will never go out my way just to annoy somebody for the sake of annoying them. And I would never just cause an argument for the sake of causing an argument. And we had some new people down the allotment a couple of months ago. And the first thing I did was introduce myself, and I said, I've got some bark, have some bark if you want it, because they had a really muddy spot. And, so I gave away, I don't know, maybe half a ton of my bark. Didn't want anything for it. I know that eventually, some point, that I will get something back from them. They might come over and say, do you want a cup of tea? In which case, brilliant. Okay. And if they don't, hey ho, it's not the end of the world, is it? I've done my bit. And no matter how many times I've tried things with this other person on the allotment, doing the favours, giving them stuff, this, that, and the other, blah, 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 it just never, ever helps the situation. In fact, it almost makes the situation worse because I might go up to them and say, oh, would you like this? I've got a spare one. Or would you like some bark? And they're like, yeah, that's fine. And then that opens up a dialogue. And then the next thing you know, it's like, oh, I don't like this about you. And it's like, oh, for God's sake. So, yeah. Excuse me, I tell you what. That's it's making me burp. I apologise. You had some good news this week. What did you have? What's the good news? There's 11 people here. Howdy ho to the people who dropped in. It's almost 10 to 9. Crikey, I've been rambling on for 26 minutes. I apologise. I truly do. What's the good news? What's the good news? I got some good news as well. Well, it's not some good news. It's not. I've got some interesting news. It's Nick. Howdy ho, Nick. The lady that was causing shit giving up. Mate, that's awesome. That is great. I wish I could say that. I wish I could. But not yet. Not yet. Hang on a second. Give me 30 seconds. Sorry, technical issue. Just bear with me a sec. Sorry about that. Something popped up and it was covering my screen. It's because I got my notifications turned off. So the woman that has kicked off at your allotment has disappeared. That is cool, mate, because obviously I wish that was me. You saying that about ignoring my services and move on. I've tried. Hang on a second. My laptop's going ballistic. I've tried, but that doesn't work either. I've tried the ignoring thing, and then they have a habit of coming over and talking to me. So that didn't work either. So yeah. Can everyone else hear that? I'm really sorry, but my laptop has got warm, so the fan is kicking off. Just going to position it differently. Sorry, just reading the feed. You had a party? Yes, I think I would too if that was me. I think I'd definitely have a party. I've just lost 2 of you people. Whoever that was, I'll speak soon. So what else does everyone else know? Forgetting what else has gone on this week. But so yeah, what else has gone on this week? So we've got the plants sorted. Told you about the weather. Told you about the fence, which is quite cool. Want to get my summer house up at some point in the next couple of weeks as well. Told you about allotment wars. But one good thing might have come out of allotment wars, and I suppose, as my old nan would say, when one door closes, another one opens. But because of all the stuff that's kicked off in the last couple of weeks, I decided that I would see what other allotments are around in my area. So I got in touch with the next the next parish council over from my allotments. Asked them if there was an application form and they said there was. Emailed all my details off last week. No, this week. And they got back to me to say that they've received my details, that I'm on file, and that there's 4 people in front of me in the waiting list. So it was supposed to be an emergency idea that if it all kicked off at the allotment and I decided that I was going to pack it in, which I didn't think I was going to do, but I wanted to have a backup plan. So I put my name down. And now I'm thinking of, regardless of what happens, I think I'm going to take on, if I'm allowed it, I think I'm going to take on this allotment. I say if I'm allowed it, if I get offered one in the next year or two, because 4 people's not much. You know, when you think of the average age of allotment people, and you know, people do give them up because of health and stuff. So 4 people's not much. I'm going to have an allotment orchard somewhere where I can put a weed membrane down to stop any couch grass and stuff like that. Then I can bark it or mulch it or do something with it to make it look pretty. And then plant a load of like raspberry bushes, raspberry bushes, apple trees, pear trees, plum trees, and things like that. Dwarf varieties, not big ones. And I can have somewhere that basically will be. No, it's not a long waiting list at all. And it would be somewhere that I could have, you know, like almost like an escape garden. A garden that, let's say, I could go there with the orchard, pick my fruit, but I'm not, you know, beholden to it. I don't have to go every other day or every 3 days, or really and truthfully, I don't even have to go every week. You know, it's one of those places where I will obviously pop in once a week because that's just my nature. But if you disappear on holiday, I can just lock it up and don't have to go and water it because the fruit trees and the bushes and all that kind of stuff will look after themselves. So that would be the plan. And I reckon that would make my food bill just crash in the summer because of all the fruit we buy, because we love fresh fruit, fresh vegetables. But, you know, things like plums, apples, pears, raspberries, blueberries, blackberries, all that kind of stuff. Imagine having a whole allotment dedicated to soft fruit, you know, and seasonal fruit. That could be quite cool. So quite excited about that in a weird kind of way. You know, when I'm in a weird kind of way, because of the fact that I don't really want to leave my allotment, and I probably won't ever leave my allotment. You know, never know. But how the backup plan has turned into something where I'm thinking, I could probably use this at my advantage. So I suppose, and if the woman hadn't had a go at me for the umpteenth time, I wouldn't have considered even asking about other allotments in my area. And then to find out that the waiting list is 4 people in front of me, you know, even like, you know, that could be like 2 years, and I could have the other allotment. I mean, like a bout of Spanish flu in the area, and I could like have the allotment next week. Harsh, I know, harsh. Afternoon. I think, wasn't it health issues? I might be getting you confused with somebody else then. It's really quite sweet. I like it though, in a weird kind of way. It's almost like drinking alcoholic pear drops. So, to all you new people, you guys and girls that have dropped in the last, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes, what have you been up to this week then? We were discussing how the weather in the UK has been crazy. Wet and hail was today, and a few thunderstorms. And so basically, not a lot has happened. Yeah, I could have row after row. I don't normally drink a lot of cider, and I definitely don't drink pear cider. I was just given a bottle, and I thought, wow, I'll have that tonight. It's all right. It tastes like Lambrini. I think Lambrini is actually made with pears, isn't it? Yeah. So that's probably why. Such an idiot, Ross. Put in sunflowers. Yes. My sunflowers are like good size now, but they're not as big as I was hoping. Davy's Dojo. Some random comments. Yeah, what else was I going to talk about today? Excuse me. I don't know. I think that's about it, actually. It was, like I said, it was just a catch up because I thought, why not? Because I'm not going to have massive amount of footage this week to show you, and everything I do show you will be, excuse me, it won't be that interesting. It's just going over the same things that I did last week, really. And as much as I like to do a weekly video, I don't see the point in just doing, well, this is me feeding the chickens. This is me showing you my plants were this big last week and now they're that big. Yeah, it's not really, it's not my cup of tea. Unless I've got something really cool to vlog about or something, remotely interesting, something to talk about, I tend to just stay away from all that weekly, daily garden tour kind of thing. Seven and 7. Thank you very much. I don't know how many people have dropped in tonight, but I think I saw it get up to at least 11. So quite happy with that. Quite happy with that. Mesh for carrots, they are really expensive. They're stupidly expensive to the point where I've never used them and I don't use them. You could grow carrots in a raised bed, or if you want, you could put a what's it called? A little windbreak around them. So carrot fly can only fly to a certain height. So if they come up against an obstacle, I think it's something like a foot or 16 inches. Might not even be that big. So if they come against an obstacle that's like 14 inches and they can only do 12 inches, they can't get over it because they can only fly so high off the ground. And that's why growing carrots in raised beds works. So you just need a barrier around it, and then the carrot fly can't get up and into it. I don't know if that's I don't know. I've not heard 2 meters. I'm sure I've heard. I'm not saying I'm not the font of all knowledge. I could well be. 2 feet. Okay, that makes sense. 24 inches. I was going to say, I don't ever remember them. Carrot fly could fly 2 meters. It depends how big the carrot fly was. If it was an Australian carrot fly with the big teeth and the venom, then I'm sure that it could go 2 meters. That's for the people who watched last week. Anyway. Yeah, I'm sure it's like 6 and a bit foot, isn't it? Yeah, sounds about right. Oh, I got a dead leg. Sorry. So we're at 9 o'clock. 38 minutes of rambling on. Right. I tell you what, we'll cut this one short then, I think, because I think I've covered all the things that I want to cover. Unless anyone has a question or anyone missed something and wants me to go over it. And then I'll leave you all to get on with your evening. I'm probably going to watch a film and finish off my pear cider. Never quite sure what the delay is on this. When you say something, how long it takes people to write. You say to someone, anyone got a question? And they're writing a question, and then you go, well, I'll be off then. And he's like, they're thinking, no, I'm typing a question. So yeah, I'll leave it for a bit longer. Is everyone here from the UK? Are all 7 of you from the UK? I think you are, aren't you? Do you need more gnomes? Yes, lots of gnomes. Scotland. Yeah. Uh, yeah, remember that, Scotland. There's a blinking mosquito about because I went outside a minute ago. Well, before I started here. Obviously left the screen about open. Um, Canada. Why do I always forget that you are in Canada? I don't know. I don't know why that is. I'm sorry. I apologize. I've always wanted Canada. That was my dream when I was younger. Was to go to Canada. Very nearly. Um, I don't know what you'd call it. Temporary emigrated. Very nearly went over there to find work when I left uni, but I didn't. And the rest is history. Yeah, funny birds. Yeah, but I don't know what it is. I think there must be somebody else with like A, like capital A, capital S in that name. This is my dyslexic brain, and for some reason I apply it to somebody else. I struggle with names at the best of times, and it's even worse with YouTube because everyone's got their name and their YouTube name, and then they sometimes got a nickname, and you're like, oh, and he's trying to remember everyone's little thumbnail and who they are, and that's how I do it. And it's like, oh, he'd love to have me. Yeah, I think I'd have quite liked Canada, to be fair. That's my daughter. I have no idea what she's doing. She's either crying or laughing. It's all right. My other half upstairs, not neglecting my children. I can't tell. It's harsh, isn't it? She's either crying or laughing. And I'm like, I can't tell. She's possibly been naughty. We'll see. We'll see. Anyway, yeah, no, one of my aims when I was younger was I wanted to go to Canada and take photographs of bears because I love bears. Um, and that was I would have liked to have photographed a grizzly bear in the wild. That would have been my thing, bucket list. But probably won't. Well, no, can't see that ever happening now. To be perfectly honest, well, not just going to Canada is expensive as it is, and I can't see me having the money to spend on something like that. But I very much doubt that I'd be able to do the hiking into the wilderness to take a photograph. Um, so yeah. Remind you, Chris is a female. Yes, that's. Yeah, I apologise. Maybe I should just refer to everybody as they and them, and I can just be gender fluid. Is it about my uh, nouns, pronouns? Oh, I don't know. No idea. Not one bear. No way. I got the impression that like you just have to like walk through the woods in Canada and you get eaten like whole. Like that's it. Non-binary. That was the word I was looking for. So yeah, I should start doing what I used to do and just refer to everyone as guys. You're right, guys. And it's like I don't mean that in the man sense or the woman, just guys. Brown bear in the Rockies. That'd be so cool. You've seen brown bear poo. No bears in the city. So you see on like the Discovery Channel that like in Canada, like mooses just like wander into cities or something. It clearly doesn't happen. It like happens once, and they just roll out the footage like every couple of years. Slovakia. See the pigeon. Yeah. The only thing we've got remotely bear-like in this country would be a badger. And as much as badgers can be little mean buggers, I don't think you have to worry too much unless you're a hedgehog. Apparently, badgers really like hedgehogs. Moose at East Coast. Oh, I didn't know that. So you don't get mooses, meese. That's it. What is the plural for a moose? I would it just be like sheep? Wouldn't be meeses, would it? Uh, what's the collective for moose? Is it a herd like deer? Get a herd of moose. I'd quite like to eat moose as well, just to put that out there. I pretty much eat anything, to be fair, but I'd really like to try moose. Don't think I could eat a whole one though. I'd try, but don't think I could manage a full one. Moose is the plural. Yeah, like sheep. Right. Right. Yes, folks. So I think we should probably call this the end then. Otherwise, we'll be debating more things about moose and caribou and bears and other such nonsense. Singular is Sunday dinner, though. Yes. Singular is steak. What's that over there, Daddy? Steak. Elk. Yeah. See, for years I thought an elk was a moose, but apparently not. A herd of moose. Yeah. Anyone know what the collective for frogs is? It's so cool. Seriously, it's so cool when you've got a load of frogs together. I'll literally give you 30 seconds or so to think about it. But it's ace. No one Google it. Don't cheat. Elk is European moose. Didn't know that. Okay. Excuse me. This is where my brain thinks. Elk is a European moose. Therefore, it should be different to an American moose. Yet, Europe is connected to Asia. And for so many months of the year, Asia is connected to America via the North Atlantic Passage when it freezes over. Is that the right passage? When it freezes over. And obviously, before mankind and global warming, that passage was open longer because we had more ice. So how do we not know that at some point moose or elk have gone either way? Because they like the cold, so they can survive through it. So how do we know that American moose have at some point walked across it and gone into Russia and then walked around into Northern Europe, or vice versa? Just putting it out there. Yes, A Murder of Crows. Yes, I do like that one. Normally, if we drive past somewhere and there's two crows on a fence, I just scream out, "Look, attempted murder!" My other half just looks at me and rolls her eyes. So yeah, a collective for frogs is an army of frogs. An army of frogs. How cool is that? Yeah, okay. No, that's yeah, no, that's spot on. That is. We are all connected, Ross. Yes, we are. Unfortunately, unfortunately, we are all connected. Yeah, sometimes I wonder, um, I wonder about the rest of the human race because I still think that about 60% probably need to be culled for the goodness of mankind. I think they should have an IQ test and a worth test. And those of you that meet the tests, getting into eugenics now, aren't we? Let's not go there. Let's not go there. I was joking. And then all of a sudden I realised I sound like a Nazi. No, let's not go there. So, what was the Frog Collective? It was an army of frogs. Selective breeding as humans. Yeah, I know, I know. Sounds so wrong, doesn't it? So instead, I'm just going to put it out there. Rather than selective breeding, how about people just give me the Infinity Stones and I can reset time and just keep the people I like? Nothing wrong with that. I'm not discriminating then down to intellect or any other reason. I'm just discriminating on the basis of I like you and I don't like you. And just to let you know, all you guys will be safe. That's fine. Oh dear, 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 dear. Excuse me. So yeah, I did. I did. I did a video on my Shropshire Dad page the other day, and it was about. I did a video on my Shropshire Dad page the other day. It's where I spout my random stories, and it's a bit more sweary because obviously I don't want to swear in a lot of my videos. But I did one about health and safety. And quite a long story short, if you want to check it out, check out the video. Shropshire Dad, you'll find it. But I did one about health and safety and how I think that health and safety is to blame more than religion now for all of the world's problems. Because I think we have people in the gene pool that 50 years ago would not be in the gene pool. 100 years ago, 50 years ago, however long, they would have done something incredibly stupid. They would have died, never bred, and the IQ of the human race increases. You know, the whole classic Darwinism, survival of the fittest, and obviously Darwin awards. Um, but now, because of health and safety and warning signs on things, we've got a whole generation of people that that basically should not be here because their parents should not have bred because they'd have done something stupid years ago. They'd have like tried to have made toast in the bath or something, and that would have been the end of them. But now these people, sorry, mosquito, I'm not having a twitch, or doing some kind of weird salute going on about eugenics. No. Um, so now, because of warning signs, and the back of a packet of peanuts now says things like "caution may contain nuts." Obviously, we've got these people that just live too long. So yeah, so give me the Infinity Stones, I can save mankind. I'll rule the world with an army of frogs. That would be amazing. As long as I could have a giant frog that I could ride on with like a big saddle and a spear. That would be really cool. Quite like frogs. And they eat slugs. What more do you want in a creature? What would I call my ride on frog though? You'd have to have a really cool name. I've always said that if ever I had a horse, I would call it Shadowfax because of the Lord of the Rings horse. Because obviously it's a really cool name. Shadowfax, the horse. So what would my army frog be? It's a good one. Good one. I have to think about that. Excuse me. Toad the frog. Now you're welcome. I think I'm going to go in a second anyway. I got completely sidetracked about armies of frogs and then eugenics. And then the fact that stupid people are breeding. Frank. I quite like that. I quite like the idea that when you name something, you give it a really strong, basic name. Bob. Bob the Frog. Excuse me. Right, folks. As we're fast approaching the hour, and I wasn't even intending on going on this long, I'm going to put one last shout on there. If anyone's got any questions, and don't sidetrack me with silly questions because we'll be here for another half an hour. If anyone's got any questions, ping them up. And if not, when it hits 5 minutes time, we will disappear. And I wish you all a really good weekend. We have England's Strongest Man in Telford this weekend. So I'm going to try and get over and see that. Take the kids, see if they can see some big guys lift, cars above their head and stuff. That'll be quite cool. A herd of hippos. Is it a herd of hippos? I don't know. What would the collective for hippos be? Or what could it be, should I say? A harem of hippos. That'd be quite good, wouldn't it? McDonald's. I thought someone was going to send me McDonald's then. Yeah, have a good weekend, Allotment Life. You take care. Right then, folks. There doesn't seem to be any questions coming through. So I think I will bid you adieu, and hopefully I will get the footage up on Monday for what I have done the weekend, which won't be a lot really, but you'll see the water situation and the hail anyway. And keep on keeping on, folks. Fingers crossed, as somebody said here, we should get in warmer next week. So everything should improve again. Just been one of those weird weeks, I suppose. If it wasn't really for allotment wars, I probably wouldn't have done the video, but I thought it was nice to have a little update about that. So, okay. 57 minutes of at least 27 of those have been complete and utter rambling nonsense. But until next time, folks, adieu, and